Hello and welcome back to Building on a Budget Models. I'm Thomas and this is the second part of the Audi Sport Quattro S1 1986 US Olympus Rally in 1/24 scale by Nunu. I painted the two seats in matte black and then painted the rear in Revell sand acrylic to simulate the Kevlar. This gave a pretty nice effect, even though it wasn't as accurate as using decals. The interior is painted in the same gloss white, and then there's some extra details that need to be picked out, such as these footplates, which I painted in silver acrylic from Revell. There are also some wires, which I picked out by using a little bit of panel line accent, did the same with the holes in the footplate, then added some other parts, such as the gear stick here. I added some extra thin cement underneath. Many thanks to D Model Kits for supplying this brilliant model. Their webshop is now up and running. You can have a look at it through the links in the description down below. Got some amazing rally kits to be released later this year. Thank you. Did the extinguisher in gloss red and added the decal. Also added a little bit of aluminium tape for the straps to hold it into place. Pedals here done in silver and semi-gloss black. And then the roll cage goes together like so. I'd left it unpainted initially, secured it all together and then painted it in gloss white afterwards. Glued all of the right hand side, and when I was happy that it was secure, then placed the left hand side on top. It's nice that this roll cage can be constructed all outside of the car and then just placed on top of the interior parts later. Now I decided to go with the decal seatbelts. I'd already added this little Recaro decal to the top. I'm running low on photo etch buckles, so these seem to make sense and go on quite well with some micro set. Helpfully, there are holes in the seats for seatbelts if you choose to add ones made from ribbon or photo etch or something similar. When they'd cured, I went over them with some matte clear. And there we are. Did two of those. Then for the dashboard, it was first done in matte black. Then also added some silver to these dials, although it turned out that most of these were hidden once you put the decal on top. There's also a little trip computer which goes on the co-driver side. I covered some of the buttons with some matte clear once they'd cured, and also added some extra detail to some of the other switches on there. There's a little Momo decal that goes in the middle of the steering wheel. I had looked at some real pictures online of the Audi Sport Quattro to get the buttons as accurate as possible, as the instructions are a bit simplistic. But there we are, I'm pretty happy with how that looks. Handbrake was the next part in. There's not too many parts in the interior of this car, but it looks pretty good once all together. Then once these seat decals had all cured, these were glued into place. Used some super glue as the joins aren't that strong. Little rear view mirror that goes on the roll cage. I did that in matte black with a little bit of aluminium tape. And then you can add the roll cage once the seats are in place. Once that was all secure, I then added the dashboard. There's a couple of little tabs on the central section near the gear stick to help you position that in correctly. There's also going to be a spare wheel that goes in the back. As you can see, this slots in really easily, but there's a couple of things which need to go in first. Just a test fit with the undercarriage. Now I got some of this red vinyl tape which I decided to put on the back of the seats and attach to the roll cage to give the simulation of the seat belts going back and being tied up. Firstly, measured them to the right size. They were about 1.5 centimeters. And then I added a little bit of super glue to the back of the seats and also to the roll cage to help the tape secure as best as possible. I did 4 of those. There's then some piping which goes at the back. 2 of these kind of J-shaped pieces in semi-gloss black go on either side. You want to make sure that these are as secure as possible before adding in the door cards. Then the other one goes on the other side. And then the final one goes through into the middle and then slots into the central hole. Middle of that I've done in silver. Now make sure that these pipes are cured and secure because the other end of them clips into the door cards, which are done in semi-gloss black. There's also a small little box on the driver's side, not quite sure what that is. If you know, let me know in the comments. And there, the interior is nearly done. Now the spare wheel is almost the same, except it doesn't have a central hub. I decided to get some more of this red vinyl tape and a spare photo etch clip to do a strap to secure it into place. For this I just used 2 bits of the red strap, one of them into a V shape at the bottom and the other one just curved around the top of the photo etch buckle. When I was happy with the lengths, I then added a little bit of super glue gel to the tyres and wrapped the tape around the edge like so. Then did the same at the bottom. And there we are. Now that won't move around the cabin should there be any sudden braking. Much safer for the driver and co-driver. Then that just slots into place on top of those pipes at the back. I also added a little bit of super glue just behind it just to make sure that it stayed in place. And there it is, the interior is now finished. Pretty happy with how this looks, especially since I chose not to go with the proper seat belts on this one. Here's a little test fit in the real car. Thank you very much for watching. Please do comment, like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.